The Arizona Supreme Court almost completely outlaws abortion.
Two Michigan parents are going to prison for their son's mass shooting.
And severe storms swept across South Texas.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Marshall Farmer.
And I'm Kaylee Bonilla. Arizona's Supreme Court ruled Tuesday to revive an old law that bans nearly all abortions. This law is said to be one of the strictest in the nation, banning abortions at the start of conception. CNN's Jen Sullivan breaks down the ruling.
In an historic decision, Arizona's Supreme Court ruled Tuesday to uphold a 123-year-old law that bans nearly all abortions. Democratic officials in the state are outraged.
This is dangerous.
The law the Supreme Court upheld in a 4-2 decision bans abortions in all cases except when it is necessary to save a pregnant woman's life. It also carries a prison sentence of 2 to 5 years for abortion providers.
As long as I am Attorney General of the state of Arizona, no woman or doctor will be prosecuted under this draconian law.
Arizona joins nearly 24 other states that have banned or limited access to abortion since Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022. Despite the ruling, surveys continue to show that most American adults are in favor of abortion access. In a KFF poll released last month, 71% of adults said abortion should be legal in most or all cases. Only 29% said it should be illegal in most or all cases. Advocates warn that patients seeking an abortion will face a dire situation.
This is going to have absolutely unbelievable consequences for the patients in our community.
Vice President Kamala Harris, who's made reproductive rights her platform, says she'll travel to Arizona Friday to show support for a woman's right to choose. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Former Trump Organization CFO Alan Weiselberg is sentenced to 5 months in prison for perjury. He was found guilty of lying under oath during his testimony in former President Donald Trump's civil fraud trial.
Now the parents of mass shooters may also face consequences for their child's actions. A Michigan judge gave both Ethan Crumbley's parents the maximum sentence for involuntary manslaughter. CNN's Whitney Wild has more.
It is the sentence of this court, Ms. Crumbley, that you serve 10 to 15 years. James Crumbley, it is the sentence of this court that you serve 10 to 15 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections.
10 to 15 years. That's how long the parents of the teenager who shot and killed 4 students in 2021 at an Oxford, Michigan high school using a gun they gifted him were sentenced to spend behind bars. Both convicted of involuntary manslaughter in separate trials. It's the first time a parent of a mass shooter has been held criminally responsible.
This tragedy has taken an incredible toll on our family.
Emotions ran high as parents and family members of Tate Meir, Hannah St. Juliana, Madison Baldwin, and Justin Schilling spoke directly to the Crumbleys about their loved ones who were killed in the November 2021 shooting.
When you texted Ethan, don't do it, I was texting Madison, I love you, please call Mom.
You have failed your son and you have failed us all. This failure had deadly consequences that can never be undone, that can never be made right.
Your mistakes created our everlasting nightmare. Our 10-year-old little brother had to learn how to write a eulogy for his sister before he even learned how to write essays.
The Crumbly's son pleaded guilty to 24 charges, including first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life without parole. And while Jennifer Crumbly apologized in court, she continued to place blame on the school.
Not only were you left in the dark about previous concerning behavior, but in the counselor's office that morning, none of those previous issues were brought to our attention.
And James Crumbley, who did not take the stand during his trial, apologizing for the first time.
I am sorry for your loss as a result of what my son did. I cannot express how much I wish that I had known what was going on with him or what was going to happen.
But the judge said these convictions were not about poor parenting.
These convictions confirm repeated acts or lack of acts that could have halted an oncoming runaway train. Opportunity knocked over and over again, louder and louder, and was ignored. No one answered, and these two people should have and sure didn't.
Each Crumbley family member will serve time in different facilities.
A controversial bill just passed the Tennessee State Senate. The bill permits teachers to conceal carry firearms if they so choose, with stipulations such as a week of training and a psychological evaluation. The hope is that an armed teacher can help prevent mass shootings. However, a number of teachers strongly oppose the bill, saying it will just make the situation worse and place an immense amount of pressure on the teachers.
You know, Marshall, the clouds looked heavy on my way to the studio today, and I think it might stay that way for the rest of the day.
And I hope it doesn't. Let's go check in with our weather anchor, Drew Maurer, to see if those clouds are going to turn into rain. Drew?
That's right, Marshall, and they are going to turn into rain later today as you see those cloudy conditions. 62 degrees is our current temperature. Feels like 61, and there's going to be some winds at the northwest of 9 miles per hour. And if we look at tonight's conditions, we're going to have a 58-degree temperature, and it's going to feel like 54, so a little bit cooler tonight. 15-mile-per-hour winds, though, going to be a little windy outside. If we look at tomorrow's conditions, it's going to be sunny, finally. 65 degrees is the actual temperature. Feels like 63. Going to be a really, really nice day, except for those 17-mile-per-hour winds in the northwest. So make sure if you got a hat on, keep it tight. That's all I got for our first look at weather. I'll be back later in the show with our full look. Guys?
Rising gas prices and high housing costs sent inflation up higher than expected in March. According to data released Wednesday by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, prices jumped 3.5% last month, making the highest annual gain in the past 6 months. Prices rose in almost every major category. Gas and housing costs alone accounted for more than half of that monthly increase. Prices fell in only a couple of categories like used and new cars, and other prices like groceries remained flat. The Federal Reserve says they wanted to see meaningful progress on inflation before it starts cutting rates. But now experts say rate cuts likely won't happen until the summer.
The International Human Rights Court ruled in favor of Swiss women claiming climate change affected their health.
And a Kansas woman lost a huge diamond off her wedding ring into the dough of her cookies at a bakery.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike is gone.
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
right, Mom. I have.
The European Court of Human Rights has ruled against Switzerland in a landmark case. The court ruled in favor of more than 2,000 Swiss women. The women argued heat waves fueled by climate change has undermined their health.
With severe storms moving through Port Arthur, Texas, there has been serious damage due to high-speed winds throughout the city. Even cities such as Katy, Texas have been affected. Damages include destroyed homes and even small businesses. Our thoughts are with the citizens of these towns.
You know, Kaylee, with all these severe storms that have been rolling through lately, there's been a lot of rain and wind, and I'm just hoping we can catch a break soon.
I'm hoping for the same thing, Marshall. Let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Drew Maurer, for more on the weather. Drew?
Yeah, guys, it has been pretty rainy, but let's go ahead and take a look at our regional conditions first. In the Metroplex, we've got 62 degrees here in Denton, and if we go east, we've got, or west, excuse me, 53 degrees in Graham, 54 degrees in Bowie, and 54 in Stephenville, a little bit chillier out there. And then near us, 63 in McKinney, 64 in Dallas, and then 61 in Sulphur Springs over there in the east side. Now, if we look at our regional conditions for the day, it's going to be 56 in El Paso, and then chillier up in Amarillo with the 49-degree temperature, and then 52 in Abilene, 62 degrees in Denton. And then if we look down here in Houston, humid as always, 69 degrees down there. Now, if we look at our 7-day forecast here, today it's going to be 64 degrees. The low is going to be 48, 69% chance of rain, so make sure you got your umbrellas. Tomorrow, 72 degrees, 45 is the low, 24% chance of rain, so still some rain in the forecast. And then Friday, definitely going to be sunny, no chance of rain, or at least minimal, 80 degrees. And then on Saturday, 80 as well. Nice 2 days there, Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, 83 degrees, a little bit warmer, 23% chance of rain with that partly cloudy skies. Same on Monday, 83 degrees and a 45% chance of rain. And then again on Tuesday, might have a day like today where we have a 45% chance of rain. Now that's all I have for our 7-day forecast, but we might have some fair weather fans in Dallas, so be tuned for our sportscast. Back to the desk.
A school-owned laptop burned a student's hand so badly they had to be taken to the hospital. The incident happened yesterday morning in Uxbridge, Massachusetts during their statewide English language arts testing. School district officials said the Chromebook laptop malfunctioned and began smoking. Students and staff were evacuated from the school building. The district says testing for grades 1 through 7 is on hold until further notice. The investigation is currently ongoing.
You know, a family of well-known space rockets has experienced its final launch yesterday.
Really? I had no idea. Let's hand it off to our segment anchor, Ian Cropper, to learn more about its history.
From Mercury to Apollo to the Space Shuttle, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station has seen plenty of historic launches for vehicles exploring the final frontier. Their most recent launch, however, featured a somber farewell for a vehicle of equal importance. The Delta IV, the ultimate version of the Delta rocket family, had its final launch yesterday, carrying a classified payload for the National Reconnaissance Office. The Delta family has been in service since the 1960s and has recorded 389 launches. Some of its more notable payloads include the Spirit and Opportunity Mars rovers, the world's first GPS and weather satellites, the Pioneer deep space probes, and the world's first active communications satellite with the Telstar 1A. Tony Bruno, CEO of the rocket's manufacturer, the United Launch Alliance, called the launch a, quote, bittersweet moment, praising the launch system as a, quote, amazing piece of technology. The Delta family will be replaced by the Vulcan Centaur rocket. If you want to see one of these historic rockets for yourself, early models are on display at Florida's Kennedy Space Center and Maryland's Goddard Space Flight Center. However, the specific model involved in today's launch, the Delta IV Heavy, won't be on display. As Bruno said, quote, we don't have an extra Delta IV Heavy to put in a museum, so this last rocket absolutely had a special feel to it. That's all I have. Back to you at the desk.
You've heard of diamond in the rough, but what about diamond in the dough? A married couple in Kansas is experiencing their worst nightmare after losing a huge diamond off of a wedding ring. The wife owns a cookie and cafe shop, and it appears her expensive diamond was lost in the dough. Alan Shope has more on her plea to customers.
I look down at my hand and the center diamond is gone.
Workers at Sis Sweets in Leavenworth put on and take off more than 119,000 rubber gloves every year, but never had this happen.
Banging the bowls and the pans.
A wedding ring from nearly 4 decades ago, chosen by her husband, now missing the main headpiece diamond.
We kind of went back to the kitchen and looked around.
But the huge diamond was gone.
I was crying, and all he could say is, you still have me. So That made it all better.
Sis says somewhere between rolling dough and making cookies on Friday, the center diamond dropped into the dough.
It's 36 years on this hand.
She says they've narrowed the search to either chocolate chip, sugar, or peanut butter cookies, and they put out a plea to their customers. Use caution before biting into one.
Mainly because I didn't want anybody to break a tooth.
Sis says she hopes to find the diamond, but she acknowledges if she doesn't, she'll just have to replace it because she says the ring is far too valuable to her to take off her finger.
I cried. I cried a lot.
But 4 days later, no luck. So while Sis Sweets continues to pump out the pastries, they're still holding out hope. The missing diamond will show up, and she says, who knows? There might be a ton of free cookies for anyone that finds it.
But I would definitely make it worth your while bringing it back.
A plea for the diamond's safe return on Facebook has received more than 200 shares. Her husband spent $1,500 on the diamond ring, which is now worth more than $4,000 with inflation.
A recent survey finds Gen Z is less happy than other generations.
And a Peruvian man just might become the Guinness World Record holder for the oldest person in the world.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union parking garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my god, this girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my god.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our Mean Green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
More research has revealed that Gen Z is considered the unhappiest generation at the moment.
I could see a few reasons as to why. Let's toss it over to Erin Sharp, who has more on this new research. Erin?
Thanks, guys. If you are a part of Generation Z and are struggling with a sense of hopelessness, you are not alone. A new survey has come out revealing that Generation Z is less happy than everyone else. People from ages 12 to 26 are less likely to rate their quality of life positively than older generations did at their age. That's according to new research by Gallup in conjunction with the Walton Family Foundation. Out of 2,000 Gen Z Americans surveyed, 75% reported being at least somewhat happy. However, the number went down significantly as the kids and teens reached adulthood. Researchers said two factors were correlated with the happiness for Gen Z. They were the amount of sleep or relaxation they got on the weekends and a sense of purpose. Though we cannot add more hours to our day for sleep, it is something we must prioritize in order to lead a happy and healthy life. That's all I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Do you know Student Employee Appreciation Week started Monday at UNT?
I did hear about that. It's really nice to see UNT doing something for their student employees.
Thanks, guys. Do you know that UNT has over 10,000 student employee positions with over 4,600 currently filled? I'm here at the Gateway Center for the Student Employee of the Year Awards with Miss Eileen Beaker. Eileen, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. What would you say is so important about having so many student employees?
Oh, they are the lifeline of the university. They work with us in tandem to serve our students, our external stakeholders, our parents and alumni, and they work with us collaboratively. The positions range from administrative front desk, but they're also doing research and graphic design, teaching positions, graduate assistantships.
Wow, so quite a bit.
A plenitude, of positions.
And could you tell me a little bit more about the awards show itself?
Yes, so the Student Employment Program, this award program, is an annual event. We had more than 400 nominations for about 20 awards. So our community, we have a very close, cohesive community that supports student workers. And what's really nice is that the students have advocated for their supervisors, and the majority of the awards are students nominating supervisors.
Wow, so a lot of collaboration, a lot of back and forth nominations and things like that.
Yeah, mentoring, And career readiness, a big part of the program is helping them develop skills to improve their confidence, to help clarify their goals, to complement their academic studies, and ultimately achieve their dreams.
Awesome. And what would you tell any students that hope to find a position as a student employee moving forward?
Oh, good question. Yes. So one is they can go to our online platform. It's called Handshake, and it's within the Career Center website. They can also get onto Navigate, it's another platform, to set up an appointment with either their career coach, or they can meet with one of my coaches in the student employment program, and they can help them navigate how to find jobs online and how to network with the different departments.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
Many people flocked to UNT's Frisco campus on Monday to watch the total solar eclipse. But it wasn't just sightseers who made the journey to Frisco. A team of engineering students all the way from Penn State arrived to conduct science experiments during the solar eclipse. Here is their story.
Very interesting things happen when you turn the sun off, so to speak.
At UNT's Frisco campus, students from Penn State, Lincoln University, and UNT worked together to prepare not one, but 2 weather balloons to run tests during the total solar eclipse. One of the Penn State students, Sam Highfield, says this project is the culmination of 2 years of work in collaboration with his fellow students and NASA.
The lab, SSPL, stands for Student Space Programs Laboratory, so it's all like-minded people around space, atmospheric study, that kind of thing. So we pull a lot of aerospace majors, mechanical majors, electrical majors, all trying to, get a better understanding of the atmosphere in space.
The students attached multiple devices onto the balloons to monitor weather conditions in the sky, over 70,000 feet in the air. The first balloon contains devices from NASA, while the second balloon contains devices from both Penn State and UNT. With everything prepared, the group had one more challenge to face: the weather.
First and foremost, it could blow into something and pop. But the other is putting a lot of stresses on our system. But other than that, as long as the wind doesn't blow it into something or blow it off course, if we can handle it, we can launch it.
Unfortunately, due to the strong winds, the university's balloon detached from its payload. But the loss didn't get their hopes down.
I'm really proud of all the work that we've put in.
And their years of preparation finally paid off.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm Marshall Farmer, ntTV News. The balloon was in the air for 2 hours and was projected to land in Paris, Texas. Kaylee, did you watch either of our Dallas teams last night? I mean, wow.
Oh, you know I did, but I don't want to spoil all the fun. Let's hand it over to sports anchor Drew Maurer to recap last night's wins.
Yeah, that's right, guys. The Mavs reached a big milestone last night, and the Stars, they did too. I'll tell you about it after the break.
Willis Library, located at the University of North Texas. It has computers, printers, and the building is open 24/7. By going online, you can book up to an hour of reserved space in one of the many private study rooms. Many of them are equipped with whiteboards, a table, and a TV to hook up to your computer. Textbooks can be checked out for free with a student ID. They also have many of these in ebook forms. This is still a library, so always remember to be quiet and respectful of other surroundings, especially in certain places where talking is not allowed. For example, the 3rd and 4th floor are completely quiet. As you can see, Willis Library has many options for students, with it offering many media sources and staying open all the time.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
The Dallas Mavericks clinched a playoff spot last night in Charlotte as they made quick work of Miles Bridges and the Hornets. Luka saying hello to an old friend in Grant Williams. He got traded to Charlotte in February. As you can see, they're embracing there. In first quarter, Mavs almost lose it, saved by Derrick Jones Jr., who sends it flying to Kyrie, who finds Luka in stride. And man, that is just too easy. Two buds doing it. Luka, late second quarter, steps back, drills one from his spot. And then in the third quarter, Luka throws one up to Gafford, who slams it down and put it on a poster. Mavs take the win 130-104. The Mavericks join the Stars in the hunt for bringing a trophy to Dallas. It would be the Mavericks' first since 2011. Now, speaking of the Stars, they faced off against the Buffalo Sabres last night in New York as they hunt for the President's Trophy in the NHL. The Sabres struck early in the first period, but Robertson knotted it up 6 minutes in. Now into the second period, Wyatt Johnson and Joe Pavelski drilled two past Luukkonen, both assisted by the scientist Thomas Harley, and that lifted the Stars over the Sabres 3-2, and that eliminated Buffalo from the playoffs. The Sabres unfortunately missed the playoffs for the 13th year in a row, and the Stars, they look to face Vegas once again in the first round. Well, guys, opening day has passed for the Rangers, and young players like Wyatt Langford are already making their impact in the major leagues. At the same time, the major leagues are making an impact on those young players, but not in the way that you might think. Take a look.
Globe Life Field, home to the Texas Rangers, home to the 2024 All-Star Game, and home to the annual Kubota College Series. It gives college kids a chance to feel pro before they go pro.
It's just the opportunity to play on a big league field, which is super cool. They haven't had the opportunity to do that up until this point. For the scouting, it's an opportunity to see how they are able to handle that type of environment, something where, it's not this small intimate stadium as opposed to, what you see at a Baum Walker in Arkansas or, any other field in the country. They can handle themselves where the pressure is on and the lights are, much brighter than they are at any other stadium. You've got two big boards that have your face plastered on them. It's a little intimidating. It's a little different. It's just the chance to, play on a big league field, and that's cool in and of itself.
The analytics movement has overtaken the game of baseball, but for these kids, they use data a little differently than the pros.
It gives you real data instantaneously. You can see how the matchups will play out 9 times out of 10. From a college standpoint, it's not as advanced, but you get these numbers that allow you to decide how to best play your guys that have draft potential.
As the college baseball season marches on, it's clear the impact that participating in this Kubota College Series has on these young stars. We'll see the tournament come back to Arlington in early 2025. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
The Peruvian government announced they are pursuing the nomination of Marcelino Abad Tolentino, known as Mexico, to the Guinness World Records. According to the regional authorities, Mexico turned 124 on April 5th. Currently, the record for the oldest living man is held by John Alfred Tinniswood at 111 years and 224 days old. Tinniswood officially received the title of the oldest world's oldest living man when Guinness World Records announced it on April 6th, 2 days after the previous title holder, Juan Vicente Perez, passed away at the age of 114. Mexico has been a pensioner of the Ministry of Development and Social Inclusion, or MIDIS, since 2019. Following an accident affecting his hip, Mexico was transferred to a state care home where he resides with 28 other seniors since 2022. According to the Peruvian government, Abad was born in 1900 and lived as a hermit for several decades. According to the Guinness World Record rules, any new application for an existing record costs $800, and the review processes of the applicant provided information takes approximately 12 weeks.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon. Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.